Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA56.
Nearly 3 years after Whitney Houston was found dead in a bathtub, her daughter today rushed to the hospital after herself being found unresponsive in the bathtub.
Another apparent execution by the terror group ISIS, this time killing the second of two Japanese men that were being held hostage.
What started as a deadly fire has now turned into a murder investigation. What people in the Van Nuys neighborhood are saying tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jory Rand.
I'm Giovanna Lotta. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. Emergency crews were called to the home of Bobby Christina Brown this morning. Officials have not released her condition but say she is alive. Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell has the details, which are eerily reminiscent to her mother's death.
The call came in just before 10:30 this morning.
ABC7, Rescue 4, spinal echo level response. Possible cardiac arrest.
The daughter of the late Whitney Houston, Bobby Christina Brown, rushed to a hospital north of Atlanta Saturday after her husband and a friend found her unresponsive in the bathtub.
21-year-old female in the bathtub, face down, TDs en route.
Roswell police officers along with fire and rescue responded to this townhome. Brown's husband, Nick Gordon, and the friend found her in the bathroom and immediately started CPR.
We don't know if this was a medical condition that she had in the tub or what, actually.
The 21-year-old is the only child of Whitney Houston and singer Bobby Brown. Saturday's incident seems so similar to Houston's death back in 2012 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Brown was with her mother in Los Angeles for the Grammys at the time. Houston's body was discovered in her hotel room bathtub, where authorities say she accidentally drowned. They also say that cocaine and a heart condition contributed. Brown has battled rumors that she has drug issues, which she denies. Now fans hope history doesn't repeat itself.
Police in Georgia are not commenting on whether or not drugs, prescription or otherwise, were found in the Brown home. In the newsroom, Amy Powell, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Amy. Another gruesome execution video posted by ISIS militants. This one reportedly showing the beheading of a Japanese journalist. Both the Japanese and U.S. governments have released statements condemning the murder. It comes just a week after militants released a similar video claiming to have killed another Japanese hostage. ABC's Richard Cantu has more.
A video released by ISIS purports to show the murder of this man, Kenji Goto, a 46-year-old Japanese television correspondent. He had made this video saying only he was responsible if ISIS captured him. Goto had traveled to Syria hoping to win the release of this man, Haruna Yukawa, another Japanese hostage, since apparently also killed by ISIS. Goto's mother had pleaded on Japanese television for his captors to spare his life. The Japanese government seemed to concede the video is genuine.
We would never forgive them for this act. And to the sins, the act committed, we are going to coordinate with the international society. So Japan would never be defeated by terrorism.
Goto had been at the center of negotiations to exchange him for this woman, Sajida al-Rishawi, imprisoned in Jordan for a terror attack that killed 60 Jordanians. In today's video, Goto is apparently beheaded by the now familiar ISIS executioner known to some as Jihadi John. Speaking as usual in British accented English, the masked man says, "Let the nightmare for Japan begin." This would bring to 8 the number of foreign hostages he purports to have decapitated. Intelligence officials say they know who Jihadi John really is, and they're looking for ways to capture or kill him. Richard Cantu, ABC News, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York.
And we will stay on top of these stories throughout our newscast. You can get the latest wherever you are. Just download our free ABC7 app and get alerts directly to your mobile device. It's available in the App Store, Google Play, and Amazon.
A woman has been found dead inside an SUV at an Irwindale gas station. Right now, police are trying to figure out how she died. Someone called 911 after noticing the woman was slumped over the wheel next to a gas pump at an Arco station on East Longdon Avenue. It's not known whether any foul play was involved. Homicide detectives and the coroner's office are investigating. Anyone who may have witnessed any suspicious activity in the area this afternoon is asked to call the Irwindale Police Department.
We're learning more about the stabbing victim who was found dead inside a burning Van Nuys apartment this morning. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter has the latest on the killing and the search for the suspect.
A deadly find inside a burning Van Nuys apartment. The female victim, whom friends say was transgender, found stabbed to death. Her boyfriend, the prime suspect.
I get a call from my girl saying that the person in there is dead. And I'm just like, wait, what? I'm like, we were just talking to them yesterday. I guess they were having arguments in the night, and then I heard silence. And then next thing you know, there's a fire going on, and they find the girl dead.
Firefighters were called to the apartment in the 14,600 block of Sataquai Avenue in Van Nuys around 5 a.m. When they went inside, they found a fire burning in the bedroom and the victim dead on the kitchen floor of multiple stab wounds.
Witnesses, they heard somewhere around 4 o'clock in the morning, they heard a fight, and then we didn't hear anything until the fire department got the call about the fire.
Residents say the couple had only lived in the complex a month or two. They say they often heard them fighting, but never thought it would end like this. Friends say the woman was open about being transgendered and are stunned her boyfriend is suspected of her murder.
They were really cool people, man. The guy and the girl, they were really chill. They would always have a good conversation with us, and to find out that now she's dead, and then I think it had to do something with the argument last night. That's just horrible, man.
The coroner isn't releasing the victim's name yet until she is positively identified. As for the suspect, authorities aren't releasing his name or picture just yet either, as they're trying to track him down first. In Van Nuys, Leanne Suter, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Leanne, thank you. A tragic update to that deadly condo fire earlier this month in Orange County. Today we learned another young child has died. The fire broke out last Tuesday in San Juan Capistrano. 20-year-old Maricela Sanchez and her 3-year-old son passed away last week. Today, her 2-year-old son also died from his injuries. Fire officials say 17 people shared the 4-bedroom unit and there were no smoke alarms. They say the fire was sparked by a child playing with a lighter.
The American Red Cross wants to make sure everyone has a working smoke detector. Today, 150 volunteers went door to door to see if residents in Pasadena had working smoke alarms in their homes. Residents that did not were given smoke alarms. Residents were also educated about what to do in a fire and how to have an exit plan.
Most people who die in fires in Los Angeles die in homes where smoke detectors aren't working. The Red Cross responds every day to those victims, but we also want to save lives.
The Red Cross says about 5% of homes in Los Angeles do not have working smoke detectors.
We're going to check in with Danny Romero now. He's got a first check of the forecast, and you're talking about a little warm-up, aren't you, Danny?
Yeah, a little bit more of this sunshine that we have behind me. As I show you a gorgeous sunset that happened today, recorded a little bit earlier, my man Jay in the booth got a great angle on this one. Malibu and the sun setting over the Pacific today, just a little over an hour ago. That is just a beautiful sight. Malibu looking great. Southern California looking great right now. The temps are very mild heading towards a Saturday night in the Southland. 61 right now in Ontario. 63 for Fullerton. Santa Ana checked in at 64 degrees. Riverside at 53. Hemet at 58 degrees. A little bit warmer in Temecula at 60 degrees. Palm Springs 67. Very nice. On the coast, a few clouds, nothing too bad. Those 60 in Santa Monica. Long Beach at 60 degrees. Up around Oxnard, 61 degrees right now. We'll see a few more clouds move in tonight. And with those clouds, we'll call 53 the overnight low, and we're going to head towards a very mild kind of night tonight. And those clouds will linger a little bit tomorrow, especially on the coastal spots and the beach areas. Maybe a little fog here and there, otherwise pretty nice. But the afternoon, things start to change for us a little bit tomorrow. More so on the work week ahead of us, as we head towards some sunshine and some warmer days. How warm it gets, how long that'll last, I'll let you know when I come back with you live. Mega Doppler 7000 HD7 day in just a little bit. Right now, Jory and Giovanna. Go ahead.
Okay, Danny, we'll see you then. An outpouring of support today in East Los Angeles for the family of Stephen Cruz. He was the 14-year-old student who was fatally stabbed outside Griffith Middle School 8 days ago. Volunteers were asking passers-by for donations to help cover the family's funeral expenses. And SoCal Burgers donated 20% of their proceeds today. Cruz went to nearby Garfield High School and was visiting friends at Griffith Middle when he was attacked. 2 teenage suspects have been arrested.
The family is grieving. It was their only son. He was a very good student. He was an honor student at the school.
Other community members held a car wash today also to raise money for the family of Stephen Cruz.
So sad. 4 suspects are arrested after a 2-hour SWAT standoff in Upland this morning. The suspects, 2 of whom are 15 years old, were wanted for a robbery and shooting at a medical marijuana dispensary. 1 victim was shot in the leg. The suspects also allegedly stole the car of one of the victims. 3 were found hiding at an apartment complex and were arrested. The 4th was arrested nearby. Residents in the building were evacuated during the standoff.
I had 2 SWAT guys pound on my door and tell me that I was in a line of fire and that I had to leave. I was still in my pajamas. I had just gotten up. So I'm like, give me a minute. And I quickly changed clothes and grabbed my stuff.
The suspects are now facing charges of robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and kidnapping. And in San Bernardino, 1 person was killed and another injured in a shooting at a motel there. It happened last night at the Economy Inn motel on West 6th Street. When police arrived, they found 1 victim dead inside one of the rooms. The 2nd victim was injured with a gunshot wound and was transported to the hospital. If you have any information about the shooting, you're asked to call the San Bernardino Police Department.
San Francisco police have arrested a man in the gruesome case involving human body parts found stuffed inside of a suitcase. 59-year-old Mark Andrews was booked on suspicion of murder. He's seen covered in a white sheet in this video. Andrews was detained last night, just hours after police released surveillance photos of a man seen in the area where the suitcase was found. That suitcase contained a headless torso. A leg was also found in a nearby trash bin. Police are looking into the possibility that organized crime or a gang was responsible.
A 3-month-old baby missing overnight is found safe in Bakersfield, and her father is now under arrest. Ellsworth Jerome Young was found by Bakersfield police at 2:30 this morning. The baby girl was with him, and police say she is in good condition. Investigators say they pinged Young's cell phone and were able to track him down. The massive search began in Palmdale yesterday after Young allegedly attacked his girlfriend. She managed to escape and ran into a check cashing business, but left the couple's 3-month-old in the car. Young then drove off with the baby. He's currently being held in Palmdale.
Sheriff's investigators say they are now reviewing video of the incident involving hip-hop mogul Suge Knight, in which he allegedly ran over 2 men, killing one of them. The video has not yet been released to the public. Authorities hope it will help clear up whether Knight was a victim in the case or an attacker in a fight that led up to the crash. Meantime, Knight remains in Men's Central Jail on suspicion of murder. He's being held on $2 million bail.
A pedestrian is struck and killed on the westbound 60 freeway in Moreno Valley. The accident happened just before 4:15 this morning near the Pigeon Pass Road exit. Authorities say the victim was walking on the freeway when they were hit. The driver did stop and is helping in the investigation. The westbound lanes of the freeway were shut down for a few hours but are now back open. Meantime, a manhunt is underway for a suspect in a fatal shooting in South LA. It happened last night at 112th and Figueroa. A 16-year-old died at the scene and an 18-year-old is expected to survive. Police say the teens are gang members. The suspect is in his late teens or early 20s. Police say he got away in a car driven by a second suspect.
Well, they're just digging out from this week's blizzard. Still ahead, the second snowstorm headed for much of the Midwest and the Northeast.
Plus, a dramatic rescue at sea. The whole thing caught on camera.
And it's the countdown to the big game, and authorities are taking no chances with security. A look at last-minute prep after this. A millionaire investor is one of 5 people saved by the Coast Guard off the coast of North Carolina. Those 5 people were on a sailboat when its mast snapped around 200 miles from shore. 13-foot waves and 40-mile-an-hour winds battered the boat for hours before the Coast Guard arrived, lifting all 5 people up to a helicopter. They were all taken to the hospital in good condition. Among those on board, millionaire Pinterest investor Brian Cohen. His $2.5 million luxury catamaran, the Rainmaker, was profiled by Forbes last year.
As if the blizzard earlier this week wasn't enough, much of the Midwest and Northeast is getting ready for several inches of snow. Bitter cold, wind chills, and strong winds are hovering across the region now. This is video out of Portland, Maine, where many residents just finished digging out of the last snowstorm. According to the National Weather Service, the Boston area could see another snowstorm Sunday night into Monday. I think they've had enough.
Those are going to be some unhappy campers. Imagine if the Patriots lose the Super Bowl and then they're slammed by another storm.
Wow.
Just a week of calling out of work?
Yep.
Straight for everybody there, just misery.
All the chowder in the world wouldn't help you at that point, you know.
I don't think so.
Matt Damon, come save me. Be like that. Now, we don't worry about that. For us, it's going to be like, my gosh, another day of sunshine. Because we've got lots coming our way. Let's go outside, check out our Saturday night, see how it looks here. We go to our live HD camera. We go to the Irvine Spectrum area, and we can see things are pretty clear here right now in that part of the OC. No real cloud cover. We will see some clouds on the coastal spots, some coastal valleys as well. Downtown LA is looking great. Right now, we're looking at 61 degrees the temp, calm winds, and building humidity, 78% relative humidity at the moment. Today, 68 is the average temp. We got to 71 downtown. We're still below 6 inches of rain for the season, and we're seeing a sunrise tomorrow at 6:50 to get your day going on a Sunday. All right, the marine layer I'm talking about, the clouds on the coast, pretty much coastal valleys tonight into tomorrow morning. Backs off during Sunday afternoon. Now, Sunday night into Monday, watch this. Marine layer returns to the coast, pushing in a little bit farther, but not much off the coast. So we'll see the beach areas staying on the cooler side, cloudier side for those days, whereas the inland spots, without that cloud cover getting in, will start to heat up a little bit more so. Reason being, we've got this low that brought us the rain now tracking out towards our east, and now this ridge of high pressure starting to settle in. Not a real strong one, not a real wind-driven one, so we will just see some of that cool, moist air stay offshore for the most part, except at the beaches. And inland, we're going to see temps bump up to about where they should be. Numbers tonight, down to 52. In Pasadena, 44, Simi Valley, 42 in Fraser Park. Tomorrow's highs, again, the sunshine inland, 74, not so much on the coast, 70 at Malibu, 68 at Redondo Beach, warm and 75 in Pasadena. Wrightwood goes to 50 degrees in the mountains, looking pretty good. And now look ahead 7 day. Power back, your weather, look at this. Morning clouds and sunshine tomorrow, 75 for the afternoon high, LA Metro, Orange County. And then temps drop down. Marine layer sticks around a little bit longer. Monday and Tuesday only 71, but then rebounding to 74, mid to upper 70s and into the weekend. Valleys and the Inland Empire will see morning clouds and then sunshine tomorrow, a little bit cooler on Monday. And then we start warming things up slowly but surely. Tuesday to Wednesday and Thursday from 72 up to 78. By Friday, heading into the weekend. Looking ahead to the beaches. Morning clouds there, and we see the temps drop down 70s, low 70s, and then upper 60s through the first part of the week until Friday. Then finally a bump up to 71. That's the marine layer, a little bit thinner, a little less of that cool air by the weekend, so numbers rebound just a little bit. Mountain areas will be partly sunny skies, and then a slightly warmer day on Monday to 56. Then mid to lower 50s for Tuesday and Wednesday. As we head towards the weekend, we bump it back up and get to 60 degrees by Saturday, with overnight numbers still down in the 20s and low 30s, so still pretty cold at night. Our high desert areas will have sunshine and cool temps for tomorrow. A little warming on Monday and staying that way Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as we head to the 70s. And then for Friday and Saturday to the weekend, 69 and 71 at sunshine, mostly sunny skies. Rule the day for the high desert through the week. There you go.
Thank you, Danny. Of course, the weather won't be really much of a factor tomorrow because Super Bowl 49 is less than 24 hours away. ABC's Amy Robach is in Phoenix, where security is a top priority tonight.
The defending champs squaring off against the powerhouse Patriots. Touchdown! With more than 70,000 fans packing into University of Phoenix Stadium, security is a top concern. Every item delivered to the Super Bowl stadium, more than 14,000 trucks worth, getting screened. Pierre Thomas is behind the scenes looking at what goes into securing the big game.
And we're talking to food, we're talking about Katy Perry's costume. Everything gets checked out.
Katy Perry stage came in. We've got the porta potties. We've got everything: food, hot dogs, hamburgers, the NFL paraphernalia. We're looking for any weapons, any bombs, any weapons of mass destruction.
On the field, the NFL hoping to put the Deflategate scandal behind them by locking up those game balls until 3 hours before kickoff. Quarterback Tom Brady still nursing that cold.
My kids got sick, and then my wife's pretty sick right now, so I brought it, unfortunately, to Phoenix, but I'll be fine.
And Seattle Seahawks star Richard Sherman and his girlfriend expecting their first child any day.
He's going to do his father his first favor and stay in there for another week or two.
That was ABC's Amy Robach reporting.
Still ahead, comedian Bill Cosby faked out a crowd to avoid protesters.
Plots they used to put people behind bars. Now 2 former San Diego police officers are heading to prison. What they're accused of.
And another confirmed case of measles as the country struggles to stop the spread of this dangerous disease. Two former San Diego police officers have been sentenced to 3 years in prison for illegally selling prescription painkillers, sometimes while on duty. The married couple of Bryce and Jennifer Charpentier were addicted to hydrocodone, the very same drug they were peddling while armed and on duty. They also used their badges to collaborate fake burglaries in which they stole prescriptions. They even had their children unknowingly deliver drugs. During sentencing, they apologized to their victims and their families.
The betrayal that they must have felt and the look on my kid's face, especially my little one.
Jennifer Charpentier worked 18 years for the police department. Her husband worked 6 years.
In Tennessee, an attorney for one of the ex-Vanderbilt football players convicted of rape is now calling for a mistrial. This comes after learning that one of the jury members had been a rape victim 15 years ago. The attorney claims the jury member lied during jury selection and got on, quote, with an agenda. The jury convicted Corey Beatty and Brandon Vandenberg of raping a girl in a dorm room. A spokesperson for the prosecutor says they do not believe the issue will overturn the verdict.
Comedian Bill Cosby is stepping up his security detail after numerous women have accused him of sexual assault. A small crowd of protesters gathered at Cosby's latest performance in Sandusky, Ohio last night. A waiting SUV surrounded by local police got ready to whisk Bill Cosby out of the show. Check it out. You see a man covering his face, rushing into that SUV, and it speeds off. But meantime, the real Bill Cosby was placed in another SUV, the old bait and switch, to avoid protesters and the media. Cosby has denied all allegations of assault and has yet to be charged with any crime. We're updating our top stories at 7:30.
More cases of the measles popping up across the country, the latest on the growing danger.
Plus, Val Kilmer is undergoing tests for a possible tumor. What doctors are saying about the actor's health.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 7:30, the daughter of the late Whitney Houston is hospitalized after being found face down and unresponsive in a bathtub at her Georgia home. 21-year-old Bobby Christina Brown is alive and being closely monitored at a hospital north of Atlanta. I'm Giovanna Lotta.
I'm Jory Rand. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7:30 p.m. Brown is the only child of singers Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. The incident is eerily similar to her mother's death back in February of 2012. Houston, who sold millions of hit records and won several Grammys, was staying at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles preparing to attend the Grammys when she was found dead in a bathtub.
After days of failed negotiations, a new video from the Islamic State purportedly shows the beheading of Japanese journalist Kenji Goto. U.S. and Japanese officials say they are working to verify the video's authenticity, but it appears to show the 46-year-old Goto being killed by a masked man. The executioner, once again speaking with a British accent, addresses Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, saying, quote, "Let the nightmare for Japan begin."
There are now 84 cases of measles reported in 14 states since the start of 2015, including a New York case that may have exposed thousands of commuters. ABC's Bazi Kanani reports on the latest of the spread of this outbreak.
From coast to coast, a growing danger is spreading, the measles. The latest warning in New York, an infected college student boarded an Amtrak train at Penn Station, North America's busiest transportation hub.
If you were on that train and you were not vaccinated, if you get a fever, you need to check in with your doctor.
The trip went from New York City to Albany, possibly exposing hundreds of thousands of commuters along the way. The country has confirmed dozens of cases in 14 states. That includes Arizona, where Super Bowl 49 is just a day away. 1 million people converging in Phoenix for the big game. A recipe for disaster if an infected person showed up.
You want to make sure that no one goes to that setting who potentially could have measles.
Medical students from the University of Arizona will be on hand at the Super Bowl to help spot people with measles-like symptoms. In California, doctors' offices are fielding hundreds of phone calls from concerned parents. The virus lives in the air and on surfaces for up to 2 hours, meaning even after a sick person leaves the room, anyone without immunity can get infected. Many doctors blame parents who refuse to have their kids vaccinated, fearing unproven side effects.
We should be fully informed with what exactly is in each and every injection that goes into our child's body.
Now, some pediatricians are refusing to let unvaccinated families into their offices.
You're putting the community at risk. You're putting your child at risk. It's just not okay.
Bazi Kanani, ABC News, Washington.
Val Kilmer is in the hospital undergoing tests for a possible tumor. Kilmer's representative says the 55-year-old actor is at a hospital in Los Angeles and that doctors are, quote, encouraged by his progress. They're hopeful he will make a full recovery. Kilmer's 2 children, 23-year-old Mercedes and 19-year-old Jack, are caring for him. Kilmer is known for roles in movies like Top Gun, Heat, Tombstone, and Batman Forever.
A NASA satellite blasted off into space from Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Engine start and liftoff of the Delta II rocket with smack.
That satellite is on a 3-year mission to measure the amount of water in the Earth's soil. Once it reaches the desired orbit, 430 miles high, engineers will spend 2 weeks checking out the 2 instruments that will measure moisture in the soil to produce high-resolution global maps. The data will help the world do a better job preparing for floods and droughts. And check out these photos. Michael Toms sent us his view of the rocket launch from Point Mugu. He posted them on Twitter using the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness. Thank you, Michael, for the great pictures. And remember, you can send us your photos or videos just by using the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness.
And you see those clear skies? We're in for lots of clear skies and sunshine. Here's Danny Romero with a look at your forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Giovanna and Jory. A happy Saturday to you, and boy, the happiest place on earth looking pretty good, too. Down to Orange County and Disneyland, California Adventure, to be exact. A lot of folks walking around enjoying a nice, remember, winter's night around Radiator Springs. Swing the camera now over to the coast. You go to Laguna Beach. Our HD camera shows right now the coast pretty clear, at least this part of the beach areas. And now one more look on the HD camera. We go to Burbank and the valley looking pretty nice here. A Saturday night clear through the valley, and the temps pretty mild no matter where you go, from a 68 in Santa Clarita to a 50 in Palmdale. Of course, cooler in the mountains, 41 for Wrightwood, 34 for Big Bear with Palm Springs at 67. We're showing 50s for Hemet, Riverside, and 60s for Fullerton at 63, 64 for Santa Ana right now, and at 61 for Ontario. And those coastal temps, not bad at all. 60 in Santa Monica. Oxnard checks in 61 degrees at the moment. Sunshine is on the way. I'll tell you how hot it gets when we come back with a 7-day in just a bit. Giovanna, Jory, go.
Danny, thank you. The owner of a dog rescued in the LA River has still not come forward. The pooch was saved during yesterday's storm in Burbank. Crews had to pull him from the water by helicopter as he was struggling to swim. They say the 7-year-old Corgi Chihuahua mix was wearing a collar and leash but had no tag and no microchip. Vets checked the dog out and he's doing fine. He'll be at the animal shelter until his owner is found. If that doesn't happen, he could be put up for adoption.
Living up to his new name, Lucky. A popular video store in Santa Monica won't be closing after all. Vidiot's got a sizable donation from a film producer and longtime customer and will remain open. The owners announced this week they were closing in April after years of losing money, but fans rallied on social media to save the store and were surprised to find their prayers were answered.
I expressed my condolences and, found out that there was a reprieve, and I was really happy about it.
So you get to continue to
binge watch my shows that don't come fast enough on Netflix.
Vidiot's opened back in 1985 with 800 titles. Their collection has grown to 50,000 movies. The owners would like to keep the collection preserved for the future.
The families of 12 veterans at a Thousand Oaks mobile home park are saying thanks today after getting free home repairs. The residents live at Ranch Mobile Home Park and got the home repairs thanks to a $20,000 Home Depot grant. Calvary Community Church in Westlake Village also kicked in $1,000. Habitat for Humanity did the work. The homes needed a little bit of everything from porch repairs and new water heaters to landscaping work.
It's been emotional to have a whole crew walking around doing landscaping, ripping out all of the huge bushes that covered my bedroom window and putting in new pavers and new stones. And they painted my little patio set, and I came home and I felt like I was in, what is the show? Extreme Makeover.
The veterans span 3 wars, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Great stuff there. Time-traveling teens take on Kevin Costner at the box office this weekend, but the new films won't take down January's big winner, American Sniper. Here's entertainment guru George Pinocchio with a look at what's new in theaters.
You guys are crazy. We can't build a time machine. Did you see the tape? I mean, I think we already did build it.
In Project Almanac, some young friends develop a makeshift time machine. The teens soon discover that messing around with the past for their own personal gain can cause serious repercussions. Project Almanac is rated PG-13. Some other friends find trouble of their own in the thriller The Loft.
Accepting a key to the loft means you accept rules to the loft. Tell nobody.
The guys keep an upscale apartment as a party pad and a place to discreetly meet their respective mistresses. When the body of a woman is found there, they begin to suspect one another of murder. James Marsden, Carl Urban, Wentworth Miller, and Eric Stonestreet co-star in this R-rated mystery. Stonestreet's Modern Family co-star Sofia Vergara also has a new movie in theaters. She heads to Vegas to star opposite Jason Statham in Wild Card.
You need to come with us.
He plays a bodyguard with a gambling problem who helps a friend get revenge after she's been assaulted. But the guy who beat her up is the son of a powerful mob boss.
We've seen the best and the worst of each other.
I'm not afraid of you anymore.
20 years is a long time.
The Backstreet Boys star in the rockumentary Show 'Em What You're Made Of. The film charts the highs and lows of the iconic boy band, as well as its 20th anniversary reunion, as the boys record a new album.
I love you, Mama.
Kevin Costner stars in Black or White as a man who becomes the solo guardian for his beloved granddaughter after his wife suddenly dies. The child gets caught in the middle after her paternal grandmother seeks custody.
We need more love than just what our grandfather can give us.
What she needs is stability, especially now since she's lost her grandmother. One of her grandmothers.
Octavia Spencer and newcomer Jillian Estelle also star in this PG-13 rated drama. George Pinocchio, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Still ahead, more than 2 million vehicles recalled for faulty airbags.
Aston Martin, it's one of the most coveted high-performance sports car brands in the world. One problem, they're really expensive. I'm car specialist Dave Coons. I found one that's just expensive, the bargain Aston. I'll have the story coming up.
More than 2 million vehicles are being recalled for a second fix of faulty airbags that may inadvertently inflate while the car is running. That recall includes various models made from 2002 to 2004. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says all the vehicles covered had already been under a recall for the faulty airbags, but the car maker's original attempts to fix the defects only worked about 85% of the time. The new recall will fully replace the faulty electronic control unit. We have a full list of the vehicles affected on our website, ABC7.com.
It's the car of the character James Bond, as well as countless real-life rock stars, athletes, and royalty. But now, Aston Martin is reaching out to people with a slightly smaller budget. Car specialist Dave Coons shows us what the famed car company considers a bargain model.
In the world of high-end sports cars, Aston Martin occupies its own distinctive niche. Not as flashy as a Lamborghini, not as stoic as a Porsche. And among other upscale British brands, an Aston is more exclusive than a Jaguar, but not as stuffy as a Rolls-Royce. And now some of that Aston fun can be had for a relative bargain price.
$99,000.
$99,900 to be exact for the new V8 Vantage GT. But that's a deal for an Aston Martin, a good $80,000 less than the next model up in the lineup.
This is the essence of Aston Martin. This is the sports car. It is the entry into our brand, but it is the purest driving experience that you can actually enjoy.
While some Aston Martins are grand tourers, this one is truly a sports car. Just 2 seats, and the standard transmission is a conventional manual. Under the hood, no pretending, a real Aston Martin V8, making 430 horsepower.
Even if it's our entry-level vehicle, which the GT is, you're really getting the essence of Aston Martin in terms of power, beauty and soul.
This may be the cheap Aston, relatively speaking, but no one will likely know it. It sounds just as expensive as any other exotic sports car on the road. Of course, that 5-figure price tag does come with an asterisk. There's sales tax and there's licensing fees, and then there's the cost of owning the car. This is not one of those vehicles that you just take to the quick lube place for an oil and filter coupon special. Yeah, you wouldn't want to use all your automotive budget up just buying the car. Servicing, tires, and brakes would still command premium car prices, but likely no more than something like a new Porsche 911. And Aston Martin's strategy is just like that of any upscale car brand. Welcome new buyers into the fold.
We have a story to tell. We have a very competitive story to tell. And we wanted to bring this car and access a few more.
An Aston Martin for an appealing price point within reach of a few more people anyway. Dave Coons, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Still ahead, balloon pilots make history with a trip over the Pacific.
And a hole-in-one on the PGA Tour that will be remembered as much for how the fans celebrated the can't-miss highlights. That's next in sports. Let's talk about the weather. Danny Romero joining us. A nice day tomorrow for perhaps a half marathon.
Oh, yeah?
A full marathon.
Down Huntington Beach? It'll be a great day at Huntington Beach tomorrow. Now, it'll start on the cooler, cloudier side for the beach areas. Could even see a little fog in the early morning hours. But what time are you stepping off?
7:30.
7:30. Okay, kind of cloudy and cool.
Okay.
To start.
Ideal running conditions.
Kurt Sandoval says ideal running conditions. And we believe him, Mr. Triathlon. Let's go outside. See things looking right now here on a Saturday night. Yeah, the beaches are, Giovanna's going to run so fast. She'll be done by what, like 8 a.m.? So it's still going to be on the cool, cloudy side. So you'll be fine.
That's right.
No, the beach areas are not going to warm up very much at all tomorrow. They're going to stay in the upper 60s, low 70s, even at their peak. So maybe cool weather all the way through your run, but a little bit cooler at 7 a.m. to start. Here's Long Beach right now. No clouds moving into this part of the coast, but we could see that move in later on tonight to the early morning hours. Downtown LA looking pretty good as well. 61 degrees right now. Calm winds and 78% relative humidity. Today, the normal temp is 68. Got to 71 downtown, and tomorrow morning, sun rising up 6:50. And you're running at what time, Giovanna? 7:30, so the sun will be up already.
That's good.
To warm you a little bit. But we've got this ridge of high pressure building in. Not a real strong ridge, so a little offshore flow. So we're going to see any kind of marine layer sticking just to the coastal spots, Huntington Beach included. And then inland spots, so it'll be nice and warm as the heat gets there a little earlier in the day, but nothing really blazing hot. We're talking 70s on the inland spots, upper 60s for the beach areas. Looking now to tonight's numbers, overnight down to 51 in Ontario, 32 for Wrightwood, 34 for Lancaster, 48 for Thousand Oaks. The all-important highs tomorrow. Malibu, beach areas, 70 tomorrow, 68 at Redondo Beach. So we're going to see right about that as your peak temperature, Giovanna. The beach is 68 or so, so nothing bad at all. Should be a cool run, and of course you'll finish like that. We'll ask her tomorrow. Here's our 7-day power AccuWeather. We're showing morning clouds, sunshine to start the day for the end of the weekend. Then starting the week, we'll look at lower 70s, more marine layers sticking around longer. Then here comes the heat. A little bump up, 74, 75, 76 heading into the weekend. Valleys and the Inland Empire. We'll start with morning clouds. Sunny tomorrow, cooler on Monday, then warming starts on Tuesday. As we get to Wednesday into the weekend, get to 78, almost 80 degrees on Friday's lookout. For the beaches, here you go, morning clouds, but sunny later, but only a high of 70 in some beach spots. Temps fall even more so on Monday, so run again on Monday, Giovanna, only 66 for the high on the coast, and then by the end of the weekend to 71 degrees. If we look ahead to the mountain areas, partly sunny skies there. 51 the high tomorrow, overnight lows in the 20s, and then we're going to see a little bit warmer in the mountains, mid to upper 50s through the week. Into the weekend, we get to 60 by Saturday. The high deserts will be sunny and cool, 66 for tomorrow, and then a little bump up, 70, and then hold it there Monday through Thursday in the high desert. But a lot of sunshine, a little drop down in temps on Friday, and then by Saturday back up to 71 degrees. So it should be a nice week there. But those beach numbers, yeah, I think you're going to start a little on the cloudy, cloudier side. But then by the time you're done so quickly, you'll be fine.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, 1-2 hours, right?
Did you say run again on Monday? I'm lucky if I can walk.
Make sure you tune in tomorrow night. It's going to be a very entertaining show.
We'll see.
Right there.
We'll see.
Superwoman.
Going for it.
I'm saying.
Dozens of dogs in San Diego hit the turf this weekend for their very own Puppy Bowl.
Yes, they did. Cameras were there to capture all the action on the field, and it was clear some of the dogs didn't care much for the rules of the game, much like the Patriots, many would say. From ripping up the sidelines to hitting below the belt, the penalties quickly piled up. What's the PSI on that football? This is the third Puppy Bowl the Golden Paw Pet Resort has hosted.
Last year, we predicted the correct team to win the Super Bowl. So this year, we're hoping we have the same prediction.
Danny, you got to say that on camera.
That was Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick. Finally, it wasn't me. The rules were simple. Green bandanas went to the Seahawks.
And it was so much better, wasn't it?
Pats represented by the red kerchiefs. The final score, Seahawks 27, Patriots 17. We'll see if that holds up tomorrow.
Danny's got the scoop on that one, dare I say. Coming up now in sports, no rest for the weary. The Clippers' 9-game, 13-day Grammy road trip. I had a speed bump in New Orleans last night, losing to the Pelicans of all teams. Well, tonight the Clippers find themselves in San Antonio, and they're playing great. They were up 56-42 at the break, pouring it on in the second half. We'll have your complete highlights on Eyewitness News at 11. As for the Dodgers, they held their third annual Fan Fest today, and look at the crowd out at the Ravine. Great legends on hand, former players. Speaking of legends, Mr. Dodger Blue himself, Tommy Lasorda. There's Yasiel Puig, one of the great headliners at the thing, and showing his Cuban roots. Look at the little dancing there. Plenty of Dodger faithful believe, like last year and the 20 years before, this is the year.
I feel like we got better, and we're going to be good. So these guys know what they're doing, so I think we're going to be good at having new guys like Jimmy Rollins and Albert Kendrick and all those new addition of pitchers. So I think we're going to be great.
We're looking forward to it. I think as a group, everybody's been talking about it, with the new guys, just getting to know everybody. We've had these 2 days to be able to share some time with them, and try to get to know them as best as possible before spring training.
Love the name Paco Rodriguez. Kings kicking off a 5-game East Coast trip in Beantown. Scoreless first period. The Bruins got on the board on the second when Brad Marchand kisses it off the post. Gets past quick, but the Kings come back. Their great defenseman, Drew Doughty, and look at this terrific shot here. Rips it in. But the issue for the Kings this year, a mental lapse. And just a minute and a half later, gets past quick. And that proved to be the difference as they lose 3-1 to start that tough road trip. Finally today, watch this from the PGA Tour. Italy's Francesco Molinari took home the shot of the day. This is in Phoenix. Nice bounce, and dare I say, the ace flies. Yes, the eagle has now landed. That's a hole-in-one. Plenty of high fives from his teammates. Now, there's a lot of, I'm not saying all college students, but a lot of Arizona State kids out in the crowd, and they just had themselves one heck of a party. It is the Waste Management is the sponsor. They nickname it the Wasted Management. Wait till you see that tomorrow. That's all good sports, guys.
At least someone was there to clean up the trash really quickly.
You have to have a lot of barrels like that, right?
Thanks, Kurt. New tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7, a dentist arrested accused of setting another dentist's office on fire. And a beauty pageant breakdown. Watch as the runner-up rips the crown off the winner's head. Those stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
That is just so rude. Coming up next.
Not playing nice, that's for sure.
It's one for the record book.
2 men travel over the Pacific Ocean in a helium-filled balloon. They're now back on solid ground. What we're learning about their journey.
Two men are back on solid ground after traveling across the Pacific Ocean in a balloon. The journey clocked in at 6,646 miles, the longest trip ever made in a helium balloon. It shattered the previous record of 5,206 miles set back in 1981. The trip began last Sunday in Japan, lasted 6 days, 16 hours and 38 minutes. The two Eagles team safely touched down today 4 miles off the coast of Mexico.
Congratulations to them. If you're betting on the Super Bowl, you may want to pay attention to this story. But we have to warn you, a lion is picking the winner. This video is from the Hogle Zoo in Salt Lake City, Utah. Vulcan, the lion, makes his pick for the big game. He came charging out and didn't even hesitate. Vulcan likes the New England Patriots to beat the Seattle Seahawks. His predecessor, Eli the orangutan, was 7 for 7 in his Super Bowl picks. Eli even got national attention for picking the Seahawks over the Broncos last year.
Are we sure he likes the Patriots? He's eating them.
Yeah.
I think it might go the other way around. Maybe he
So you're saying the orangutan was 7 for 7.
Yeah.
Why
this is the first time for the lion.
Where's the orangutan? His streak is
That's
right.
That's
all
Thanks
for us.
for joining us.
Thanks
We'll
for
see you at
watching.
11 on ABC7.